Good. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Coffee with Cade today. I am Camille Hammond, the CEO and co-founder of the Cade Foundation. And today, my special guest is Mrs. Rada Drapatskaya, fertility acupuncturist extraordinaire. We're going to quickly review what we talked about a few minutes ago, just so everyone knows about how important Rada's background, and she can share a little bit about fertility, acupuncture, and nutrition. So I will just say Coffee with Cade is a monthly live stream that we host to interact with you and to share about some of the different supports that are available for families with infertility. So first and foremost, we have these fantastic Cade mugs, these Cade Foundation Coffee with Cade mugs. And if you're interested, we are going to be giving them away to some of our special guests, of course, that appear in the podcast. But you may be a special guest as well. So if you're interested, let us know. And we can talk to you about how you can get your own Coffee with Cade mug. And
they're beautiful.
Thank you. And so I'll ask you who are on your lunch break or doing whatever, what's in your mug? I'll tell you what's in mine a little bit later. All right. Now, Rada, can you tell me a little bit about why you got into fertility acupuncture nutrition, just the quick version?
So the quick version, that love of holistic health started as a dental hygienist. I've been in dental health for 22 years and then transitioned into acupuncture 11 years ago, became licensed acupuncturist, and nutrition has been part of my life. Healthy cooking, food for medicine, basically, has been my passion for all those years.
Okay.
And I knew it was basically God's calling for many different reasons of my friends and personal reasons, how fertility acupuncture would be exactly what I need to be doing. And the more I do it, the more babies are born and couples become part of my life and I become part of their family, the more I want to do it.
Awesome. Awesome. And I have seen some of those adorable babies.
Mm-hmm.
Rada has been a good friend of the Cade Foundation for many years, and she's spoken at many of our education conferences. So I'm really, really excited to have her here today for this edition of Coffee with Cade. So without any further ado, Rada, talk about this acupuncture person and what the different dots on there mean.
So I brought my little acupuncture woman or man, depending on how you want to look at it. So acupuncture is 3,000-year-old medicine, started in China, and there's 365 points, just like the calendar, because we're part of nature.
Okay.
Each channel has exact anatomical location. So when people say, "Oh, we don't know what acupuncture is," it's some kind of energy medicine. Not really. It's actually a science. It's actually, fertility acupuncture has the most scientific studies that I will talk about a little later. Each point gives a command to the body to heal certain area of the body.
So it's like a computer.
In a way.
Push this button,
yep.
Something happens.
In a way. So, for example, here we have in the middle of us is a conception,
show that to them.
right there. It's called conception vessel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole vessel dedicated to fertility, basically. Huh. And each point corresponds to not only conception, to different organs in the body that will help to regulate menstruation, or in men, production of sperm, and will help you to become fertile. So with each patient that comes to me, I do a medical examination. I talk about their, basically everything from birth, whatever issues they had. And not every time with couples, not every time it's only hormonal issues. It could be digestive issues that is on the way of fertility. It could be stress. Another thing I want to mention, this is, I actually brought this little helper with me. This is from NIH statistics. Mm-hmm. Main benefits of fertility acupuncture. They've been 166 studies.
Wow.
The second most studied area of acupuncture. First one was pain. Mm-hmm. And so what they figured out, it really does. With stimulating needles, we're delivering nutrients and blood supplies to ovaries and uterus.
So that's like basically right there, the middle of the body.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Acupuncture helps to regulate menstrual cycle. It helps to regulate immune system and increases release of neurotransmitters to regulate hormones in both men and women. So acupuncture could be used before you start, let's say IVF, maybe a couple months even before, to prepare yourself as a couple. It could be start during IVF. Some couples wait until they start IVF and then start acupuncture, but better to start before that. Really prepare your body.
Start before. Okay.
And then some of them, use it during pregnancy, because as you know, like during pregnancy, it could be a lot of issues. It could be morning sickness. It could be back pain. So it could be used during all of those times. Most of my patients, I start seeing before IVF. They come the whole way, once a week, twice a week, during their treatment. Some of them actually get pregnant naturally. And then the whole pregnancy. And then after they deliver, they still come back because it's part of the family with their children.
So now you're using a toothpick.
Well,
do you have an acupuncture needle so we could see how?
I didn't actually bring the needles. I was supposed to bring a patient before, but that changed. But the needles are very thin.
So compared to this toothpick.
Oh, much thinner.
So we got a little thin toothpick here, and you say they're about half the size of the toothpick? Or
I would say 3 size less.
So this is a very tiny needle. Does it even hurt?
You feel it when it goes in, not as in hurt, but a stimulation. The needle is actually hair thin. So you feel it going in, it's like a sensation, and then you don't feel much. Just very relaxing. Patients usually lay on the table after we figure out what needles we're doing, what points we're doing, and they're different every time they come because life lives us. So it's not going to be necessarily, sometimes I do the same protocol, but it's not necessarily going to be the same protocol because it depends what's going on, what they're presenting. This time around, is it immune support? Is it digestive support? Is it menstruation support? Is it something else?
So even though you're treating infertility,
right, but
you're still looking at what else is going in the life. And so let me just put acupuncture person out here so that, I don't know if you can zoom in, but she's got all of these lines going down this acupuncture person so you can see.
So let me say just a little bit more.
The front and the back.
One of the studies was fascinating to me was Dr. Pina, and he connected a couple with infertility to thermographic machine. And before he did the acupuncture points, he measured them. And so what it shows in the areas, the wife, it shows in the areas of ovaries and uterus, kind of like cold sensation, blue color. When he inserted the needles along the conception vessel, immediately he started seeing how blood rushes to the area. And nutrients from the body rush to the area. The area changes to be more orange and red. And at the same time, because it travels through the whole body, travels to the brain and stimulates the area of the brain that's responsible for your hormones.
Oh my goodness.
So it's fascinating.
Okay, this sounds very fascinating.
Right, and so I love that study because I'm a very visual person. I need to see what's going on. And he could see how after each acupuncture session, the human body actually changes, actually responds to stimulation of needles.
Now, I have heard some people say that acupuncture is placebo and that it doesn't work for everyone. And what do you say to that?
To be honest, I don't think, I think maybe what they're saying is if you do one protocol, it may not work for everyone. That's just kind of my conclusion, because sometimes it's good to have a certain protocol that you figured out, but people come with different issues. So let's say the couple comes in and the wife has severe digestive issues that are not regulated, but she cannot have a baby. So if you do just this one protocol that will be only stimulating her hormones, it may or may not work. So it's actually no longer a placebo because there have been studies done at NIH. NIH did most of them, University of Maryland, and they're really no longer calling it a placebo. It's actually covered by insurance now. I don't think insurance will cover it.
So that's good to hear,
right?
Insurance is covering it. If anything, it's just a copay for most people.
Yeah, usually Blue Cross. Other insurances may reimburse you. Blue Cross has wonderful coverage. And usually it's a copay.
So, and I would say that even if it was considered placebo works. We could bottle placebo and sell it. It actually helps a lot of people.
Placebo looks like 180 babies just this year.
No, I'm not saying it is. But, I'm just saying, even if it was placebo, placebo actually does work for a certain proportion of people. And also, there's no medical treatment that's going to be 100% effective for every person across the board. So, okay, so let's see. Do we have any questions to my helpers in the studio? Nope. Okay, we're going to keep it moving. Now, in addition to acupuncture, and this is very, very interesting.
Very important too.
Rada is also a nutrition specialist, and her nutrition focus is fertility. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about fertility nutrition? How can we eat better?
Right. So I'm going to start saying how I start becoming interested in nutrition, food and medicine. Started when I was a child. Started when I grew up in the Soviet Union, and we basically had not a lot of food in the store. But we had natural market, which was even better. And I would go with my aunt as a little child and be so excited to pick up fresh vegetables and fruits and prepare healthy foods that kept us well, even in the Soviet Union where we had not a lot of nutrients at that time. So I was fascinated about cooking food and food and medicine. Then, as part of my dental hygiene career, it continued studying how food can nourish a whole person as a dental hygienist. And then part of my fertility acupuncture, I continued studying. And then my Shiro is Dr. Schiffel, and she is a chiropractor who does fertility treatments in Chicago area, Illinois actually.
Have you met her?
Oh God, yeah. And I studied a lot with her, and she came up with ideas of how to cook healthy and how to use whole food supplements, which I'm going to show you. There's a company called Standard Process. They're in Palmyra, Wisconsin. They use 100% organic nutrients for their supplements. So it's not synthetic. They have organic farms. They meet 5,000 points of FDA inspection, which is one of the highest points of, inspection, which tells you it's a really, really good company. Because FDA will not say, oh, this company is better than the other, but you have to see how many points they assign to each company. And basically what you're doing is you're introducing nutrients that can support you on the cellular level.
Now, I will say that the nutrients, the supplements that she's talking about are not available over the counter. I think you probably...
only through practitioners.
Okay, right. So that's something.
Because every person will need something different tailored to their health.
Got it.
And that's why I'm very leery about people saying just go to CVS and get something, because that something may not be what you need. So always, a good idea. Now,
that's great.
I love to cook and I like healthy food. And over the years, I came up with my favorite things, which is like Oprah's favorite things. Like Oprah.
So we're Rada's favorite thing.
Rada's favorite things that is very easy to make, and it's very nutritious and delicious and will support fertility. One is, I always tell couples that even though you might not be diagnosed with celiac disease, but try to be gluten-free while you're preparing to get pregnant.
Okay, so that is quinoa.
Quinoa, which you can buy in Trader Joe.
Okay.
And that you could cook it or you could put it in the microwave. Now, I'm not a big proponent of microwaving, but this one is actually easy to make, 3 minutes. It's nutritious and delicious. It has 17 essential nutrients and amino acids in it. And you can make it whatever way you want. You can put organic butter in there. You can put virgin coconut oil in there. You can put a little honey. You can put salt. You can make it as a salad, all kinds of different
And
ways.
I actually like quinoa with just a little bit of salt.
Right.
Yeah, so I have I've seen it prepared in a lot of different ways, but now you don't have to go to this place. They sell quinoa
everywhere.
Yeah, so you can get it anywhere, right?
Right.
Awesome.
But what I'm saying is try to go gluten-free or reduce the amount of gluten that you're taking, because gluten can be an irritant. And during fertility, we're trying to reduce inflammation.
So let's really quick park right there, because a lot of people hear gluten-free. What does that mean?
Gluten is an irritant. Gluten is added to a lot of things in our products nowadays.
So what foods have gluten in them?
Anything that has bread, anything that has wheat, really. If you're reading the label, it says wheat. That's always gluten.
Okay, so
Bread,
flour.
cookies,
Got it.
things like that, white flour, all that. So we're trying to reduce that so that we're trying to reduce inflammation.
What about rice and corn?
Rice and corn, gluten-free.
Okay, that's good to know.
Very easy. Now, another thing that was very, very big in Russia, in this country, for some reason, it's starting to become a new thing, which is probiotics. Probiotics are that good bacteria that helps your gut and helps your immune system. Now in stores, we have all kinds of probiotics. And this is sauerkraut that we used in Russia a lot. Bulgarian people know about it. German people. We just ate it as it was prepared. You don't cook it even more because you want to get those good nutrients into your body. And
so is it like just taking a spoon of it?
Right. Or actually more than a spoon. Like you can use it as a salad. It has like a slightly sour, salty taste.
Okay.
But if you eat it actually every day more like as a salad, you're increasing your immunity. You're helping your gut flora, and therefore you're helping your whole body to prepare for fertility.
What about the probiotic pills? Because I've seen them over
You
the
can
counter.
do that. Again, Fair Process has the ones that I love. If you don't want to go through that, something in the store called CB8 is a good, safe company that you can use. They have it in Whole Foods.
CB8 probiotic.
Right, but to be honest, I would say food is medicine, and food tastes better than taking pills.
Yeah, but if you
don't do that, then either PB8 or probiotic from Fair Process. So. Okay, now
that's great.
There's this is avocado. Look at it because God created our fruits and vegetables to remind us of what's in our body already. So if you look at it, it looks like women's stomach. And if you open it, inside is a little seed, which is a baby. So this, my friend.
All right, so this is important because I have struggled at the grocery store many days. So if I go in and look for avocados, what am I looking for?
So what you want to do is it has to be slightly soft, but not mushy.
But not mushy.
Okay. Right, and it shouldn't be like really brown. It should be kind of greenish brownish.
Okay.
But avocado is amazing. Mediterranean people love it and know it. American people are starting to like it and know it.
Oh, I love avocado.
Now, I eat it for breakfast.
Okay.
You can open it. You can put a little hummus in there, a little salt, and eat it with your eggs. You can put it in. Okay, whatever. Now, remember, I'm Jewish, so I can talk about like Israeli.
Okay, that's Israeli. That's how they do it.
Whatever.
I put it on top of sushi.
Yes, you can.
Or BLT sandwich.
Exactly.
Although we're not doing bacon, I guess.
I mean, I'm actually, to be honest, for fertility, we're doing bacon.
Okay, we're doing bacon. Yes, we're doing bacon.
For fertility, yes. I mean, we're not talking about the religious stuff. No. For fertility, absolutely.
Okay.
You need good fat. We'll talk about it in a second.
Good fat. All right. Well,
this is avocados, important every single day. Amazing fertility.
And I think this has a lot of good fats in it too, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking about good fats.
Speaking about fat.
You got your avocado.
And speaking about fat, I don't have an example of it, but this is preparing for fertility is not the time to go fat-free at all.
Okay. So what I've heard about different diets. For instance, I've heard about paleo. And I've heard about
beach.
Yeah.
Both good.
Okay.
Paleo uses a lot of good fats in moderation. We don't want to be full of lean. We don't want to take big pieces of chunks of butter and add it because then we're talking about cardiovascular disease. We don't want to do that. Right, but we want to do it in moderation. So I personally like Irish butter, made in Ireland, Dubliner. It's the best. It's unprocessed, wonderful, wholesome butter that you can put on your gluten-free bread or whatever. Yeah. You don't know what's in there. It's a whole bunch of margarine stuff. We don't want to do margarine during fertility.
So we want real
butter and real cheese, and we're going back to how farmers eat. Okay, that's actually very important.
Whole fat. You're not
in moderation,
fat free or 2%.
No,
or half and half. We want whole fat
in moderation.
We're
not saying go eat bacon the whole day with lots of butter, but we're saying in moderation.
That makes me hungry.
Right. So the next one is actually a marvelous milk that I like because again during fertility we want to kind of reduce the amount of milk that we're drinking, and we want to do a little bit less dairy, because again, it's inflammatory. I'm not saying completely off the dairy, because yogurts are good for you. They have probiotics. But this is a really good example. This is creamy. Tastes pretty much like real good milk, but it doesn't have casein in it, which is inflammatory during preparation for fertility.
That's interesting.
Yep.
So cashew milk, is it the same for almond milk or rice
You
milk?
can do that. I personally don't like them because they don't taste that good. This tastes creamy. And this could be used in soups, in your cereals, and again, what I'm proponent of, if you're going to have your cereal in the morning, please don't do gluten cereal. Do cereal that is actually gluten-free.
So oatmeal.
Gluten-free.
Or, so do your oatmeal, your quinoa, even your grits.
Exactly.
Corn grits, not cream of wheat.
Exactly. You
got it.
You're such a good student.
I'm learning.
But this is wonderful. I cook a lot, so I use it in my recipes. It's very creamy. You can use it in your coffee. It's really amazing.
Cashew milk.
Cashew milk. Now, this is kind of a new product on the market, but kind of, it came from old medicine. This
old
is
school.
Old school. This is actually called bone broth protein. You know when they say when you're sick, have chicken noodle soup or chicken broth?
Bone broth.
There's some truth to it, because in the chicken bones, there's a lot of really, really good nutrients that is wonderful for immunity and wonderful for fertility. They now have a product that I personally like. It's Dr. Axe who came up with all that stuff. And I personally tried it and I personally like it. Now you kind of have to mix it with stuff. By itself, you're probably not going to like me. And
this is like just ground up bones?
Yeah.
Ground up chicken bones?
Yeah. But if you mix it with really good yogurt, you put a touch of honey and blueberry, you don't taste it. But it does so much for your body. Again, it's so good for fertility that people during that period, they will try anything. And they tried and they said, Rada, there's really no taste to it. If you mix it with really good yogurt or like apples or something. And
bone broth.
It's old medicine.
Old school.
Or
I still do chicken soup, but I just do it with the, the chicken.
And again, I mean, you can cook your own bones, but who has the time? And I mean, but the idea is medicine from the bones. We're going back to the basics. We're eating good meat.
So, and you're also eating everything. You're not leaving anything. That chicken is gone. That you're eating everything.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one.
Bone broth. Got it.
My favorite is we're going back to eating eggs in the morning. Very, very important.
This is the whole egg?
Whole egg.
So not just the yolk?
No. Very important to have eggs in the morning, because a lot of people in this country eat cereal, and in nutrition circles we call it cereal killer, because it has sugar, it spikes your insulin, and it has gluten in it, which is really not good. So the first thing you do in the morning, it has to be nourishing, and it has to be protein based.
So I need to get rid of my morning scone, because that has sugar and it has.
I mean, once in a while, again, I'm not saying, we're not food nutty, but we're recommending good food. So this is organic eggs.
That's good.
And you can boil them, you can do scrambled eggs, with salsa. It's delicious and nutritious. Put some organic cheese on it. First of all, you're not going to be snacking and hungry until lunch, because it holds you over. There's not a lot of sugar in there, right? And it's marvelous. Again, eggs, think about eggs and fertility. It's one. It's like your symbol of fertility.
Got it.
So when you're, as a couple, preparing for fertility, you want to eat
your eggs.
Okay, now, talk about, people always ask me about, so how do I go about finding some gluten-free products that are tasty?
Yes.
Because some of them are not. Now, this is my favorite because I have celiac disease, so I actually don't do gluten. This is in Giant and Safeway, the company called Glutano. It's in the refrigerated section. They have those amazing English muffins. You need to toast them. When you toast them, they taste delicious.
When you don't toast them, they're nasty.
Exactly.
But don't
You
want
toast them.
nasty. We want delicious.
They're actually
Toast them.
delicious. They have nooks and crannies. You put that really good butter.
The gluten-free Dublin butter.
Yes.
Got it.
And, you know, you can have 1 cup of coffee a day. That's fine. Nobody said no coffee. Again, limit your amount when you're preparing for fertility, but 1 cup of coffee is absolutely fine because it helps digestion. It helps to have you go regularly, which is important.
We're talking about pooping.
Pooping.
Pooping,
Yes.
is important.
Absolutely.
You can't go to the bathroom. You can't focus on other things.
And it will affect your fertility.
It affects your fertility. Now, let me ask you another quick question because I know we're coming to an end. What about wine and cocktails and alcohol?
Again, once in a while, socially, sure.
Once a day?
I wouldn't say that. I would say for holidays.
Once a week? Once a month?
Sure. I mean, again, look,
year.
you know, this is when couples preparing for fertility, they have their program.
So they're abstaining basically for from alcohol.
Yeah, usually takes 3 to 6 months to prepare a couple for fertility, depending if they're doing IVF or they're just naturally trying to become pregnant. I have a couple recently. She's 47, and she said, "Okay, let me try with you. My husband will come. Husband is younger, and then if in 6 months, you know, I don't get pregnant naturally, then we're gonna go for IVF. I already have a doctor and everything." She got pregnant in 3 months.
Okay.
Naturally.
Congrats to her.
She's also instructor of sports. She exercises. She's in good shape. She listened to me. She changed her nutrition, which is so important and very important. She went on whole food supplements from Santa Rosa. I did the whole protocol. Now, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to support maximum nutrition that will nourish our ovaries and uterus. We're not doing hormones. This is not like drugs.
Okay.
So there's a difference. We're just nourishing what our body does naturally, and we're kind of like giving it a little bit more nutrition so that the couple can all of a sudden become fertile.
Well, if we're saying though that food is medicine, medicine comes from herbs and, you know, things that are already out there. So yeah, it's just things that you can do on your own without prescription.
So I look at myself as I'm kind of like a medical gardener, if you want to quote me that way. Every couple that comes to me, they're like a land, and they want to plant those seeds, and I'm going to prepare their land so that when the seeds are planted,
it's good soil.
It's a good soil, and it grows to a beautiful baby.
I got it. Well, I tell you what, we are finishing up, but this has been very illuminating for me. I know I've learned a lot, and I'm going to have to try that glutino because I've never had that before. But let's real quickly review. Rada, what is in your cup?
Well, in my cup, there's wonderful coffee, and it has vanilla creamer. So that's what's in my cup.
And I have salted caramel mocha. So thank you for joining me today. Yeah. What did you say?
Nazdarovia means be healthy in Russian.
Nazdarovia. I'm learning too. And I want to thank you for joining us, and for anyone who logs on after the fact. We will be producing this, and then we'll be reposting it along with all of Rada's contact information, so that if you want to learn more about the work that she does, that you can follow up with her. And then, you know, we're always available either on Facebook or Instagram, as well as at www.cadefoundation.org. For those of you who are looking toward the end of the year, make 2018 your year. You can live with regret, but why?
Give yourself a chance to become healthy. Give yourself some time to become healthy. And sometimes in that rat race of another IVF, the couple loses that ability. They become very stressed. So sometimes they need to take a couple of months to prepare themselves again, whatever they're doing, whether it's natural fertility or IVF, and then kind of go from there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you next month, where we will be talking about fertility therapy. So we will be talking about revitalizing the female parts and providing therapy to our female body parts so that they're in maximum condition, both for just fantastic lovemaking, as well as preparing to receive and have a baby. So join us the first Monday in January, where we will have the National Rehabilitation Hospital on to talk about physical therapy for our female body parts for fertility. Thanks, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.